Tracey, thank you so much for joining us today. You're absolutely one of the key women in Brisbane in my mind when it comes to business success. I know that you've ridden the wave throughout the time. I believe that you're just shy of 4 decades in business. Is that correct? Around 30
Third generation, yeah, third generation retailer.
Beautiful. So you would have seen the peaks and the troughs and the roller coaster of business.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I've been in retail for 36 years. So I've seen and been through and survived and thought I wasn't going to survive. I've been through it all.
And that's, I think, other than the fact that you're amazing and I love your insight, I think that's one of the key components as to why I asked you to be on today, because I think sharing that wisdom and letting people know that you did survive, because at the end of the day, it's such uncertain times out there at the moment. People are looking at, the options of dissolving business, closing doors, neutralizing, closing, down staff, really scaling back, or some are going to thrive. And I think it's beautiful hearing that, you have succeeded throughout those times. When we spoke of, changing the 14 C words for this content, you immediately resonated with communication. And I'd love to hear how perhaps communication throughout those years has helped you get to this point of success.
Absolutely. Look, I think, and first of all, congratulations on doing this, because I think that this is what small business need at the moment. I think that when I think back to all the hard times that I went through, one of the important things for me was having amazing people that I could ask questions to, that I could, I don't know. It's not something we like to hear, that people have been through things and hard times before, but it's just nice to know that we're not the only one, and that, that survival is possible. And that, I think that, communication, the reason I jumped on communication is because I just believe that communication is the key to life. I just think that, when we are in hard times, the worst thing that we can do is put our blinkers on, stop doing what we do normally, or, suddenly making massive changes that we haven't really, stopped and thought about. We need to really, stop, think, and work out our best way to communicate. And, for me at the moment, there's so much hurt out there, but there's so much fear. And, I think what your clients or your customers are looking for at the moment is somebody to hold their hand and say that it's all going to be okay. And the way that we do that is by communicating with them more than we normally would. And I'm not just talking about, email, you're going to be okay. I'm talking about picking up the phone, hand holding, making them feel, loved and special, and, that how they're feeling, show your own vulnerability, but be a leader at this time, and make sure that they know that, you are going to still do whatever you can to make sure that whatever service that you provide to them or product that you provide to them, you are still going to do to the best of your ability. And, the whole communication thing is about, if you can't do that, it's staying in touch, because this is where people get shitty.
Yeah.
When they use that word, Emma. Keep picking up the phone, keeping them informed, giving them updates. When you do that, people trust you. And you know what? At times like this is the big word that we need to think about, is trust. It's who can we trust, who's telling us the truth, who is really in it for the right reason, not the wrong reason. And your empathy and your, ability to build these incredible relationships that you've been doing for all these years. Now's the time to be using that and making sure that, you're doing the right thing by your clients and your customers.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head there, because there's a couple of things with, it is uncertain, but it's uncertain for all of us. We don't know when we'll be back to normal or what the new norm will be, because we've not experienced this before. We might have gone through GFC and the Great Depression, and well, certainly not us, but our generations before, but we didn't have it in this capacity with this online or virtual approach to business. How we do business, how we transact, and how we create revenue is so different to the last crisis that we've faced.
This is a whole new ball game that, you know, none of us could have, you know, planned for or even thought about, you know, that it could possibly happen. So, you know, this is a whole new ball game where we're all learning and we're all in this, you know, together. But, you know, talking about this whole communication thing, I just want to share with you. So my husband is in the financial markets. And as you know, that is pretty, you know, drastic at the moment. You know, I think it was a couple of days ago that it was a 30%, you know, decrease in within a month. And, you know, there's all those sort of figures being thrown around. And I'm really proud of him. And I'm sharing this not because I want to, you know, boost him or anything like that. I'm sharing it because it's a great way to do business. This is why he's good at what he does, because he has been keeping his clients informed. He has been sending 3 emails a day. He has been giving them every bit of information that they could possibly need, maybe more than they could possibly need, but they can then do the summarizing themselves. And he has been not holding their hand, but he has been saying to them, do you know what, this is ugly, but you know what, it's not the time to panic. It's not the time to start, you know, jumping at shadows. We need to, you know, stay well informed. We need to, you know, stop listening to gazillions of the outside noise. We need to focus on what we actually need to know and understand, and, you know, what's going to help us. And, you know, together we are going to get through this. And, you know, he doesn't have people panicking because he is doing the right form of communication with them. Whereas I know that there's other people out there that are not wanting to face their clients because they may have lost money, or they may not be able to supply what they've promised they've supplied. That is not the way to build a trusted relationship. You need to start to face what you need to have, you know, those hard conversations we need to have. You need to start having them if you haven't been doing it, because that is where you are going to be able to keep your clientele for when this is over, because this will be over. This is just a storm in a teacup. And, you know, it's about what do we have to do to maintain what we've got to actually then have a business when this is all over, and we're heading back out the other side and we're heading back up again.
And communication it's not a new concept. It's not just something that's come out of this crisis. It's something that should be existing in business at all times, good or bad, or even if there is no communicate, you know, it's that old saying, if there's no news is good news, but you should be communicating on the daily. Change how you communicate, the mediums of which you communicate, you know, how often, you're absolutely right, and that is beautiful that your husband is.
And listen, you know, listen to what it is that your clients and your customers want. You know, if they want greater communication on a more regular basis, then that is what you give them. You know, if they don't want to have you ringing them every day, they want an email. Listen, that's what they want. So, you know, good time to open your ears, shut your mouth, and actually, you know, until you have to, you know, obviously open your mouth and talk, but you know what I'm saying with the listening side of it. But, you know, and even Emma, you know, this isn't just about business. This is about surviving our home life as well. You know, all of a sudden, we're probably all going to be thrown together. You know, we've got families living together that don't normally have 7 days a week together. This is about communication in our personal lives as well. You know, this is about actually telling. This is not the time to, you know, if you're asked, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. This is not the time for that. This is the time for having open and honest conversation, communication. And, you know, I've been saying to my clients for years that, you know, when Rick comes home at the end of the day, and I might have had, you know, we can have bad days, and, you know, we're not feeling our normal, happy, jovial self. And, you know, when Rick comes home, if I am like that, I will actually say to him, do you know what? I've had not a great day today, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm not feeling my best. And if I snap, I just want you to know why. So it's actually not you, it's me. But there is nothing you can do for me. I just need to get out of this funk myself. And, you know, they're the things that we're talking about, sitting in a circle, all holding hands and singing, you know, Kumbaya. Talk. you know, really talk, because, you know, we don't have to do fear alone. By actually talking. You know, I had a conversation, I had a day the other day where I just had like 5 amazing women that I had the good luck to actually have conversations with, and we helped each other. You know, we talked about our fears and our concerns, and, you know, we shared some ideas and thoughts around how we could help each other. And you know, it's a funny thing, we're always a bit smarter when we're helping other people than when we're actually, you know, helping ourselves. We're a little bit maybe too close to it. So, you know, have those conversations with people that you admire and who inspire you. Ask for, you know, help. Ask if they've got, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to give you some time. You know, now's the time that people are just going to be so open, more open than ever to actually helping people, and, you know, being prepared to give that extra time.
Well, I actually think that's a nice way to finish, because Tracey, you've been on the receiving end of my cry for help, and I do appreciate you being there to thank you for, you know, always listening. You're an amazing woman. Personally, as a friend, I witness your circle of beautiful friends that you have around you, but also in business as well. And to have somebody like yourself in my circle is just, I'm very, very grateful. And to be able to lean on you for this content and your brain and your knowledge is just, it really is a gift that I want to pay forward to people out there. So in closing, thank you. I really do hope that it helps somebody. And yeah, by all means, let's band together, keep communicating, keep listening, stop snapping at our partners when we get home. God, we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think if I may just finish on something, you know, this is a crisis. We all understand that. We've had it shoved down our throats by the press, you know, as much as they possibly can. The thing that we've got to remember is we are survivors, and we have gone through, you know, times in the past. We've been through lots, and we will survive this. But there's one thing that you need to do, and that is stop looking down, look forward, and keep moving forward. You know, as slowly or as fast as you need to do it, that's up to you. But this is not the time just to sit still, curl up in the corner and do nothing. So just keep your eyes forward, keep communicating with the world, keep asking lots of questions, and you will not just survive, you will thrive going forward.
Beautiful. Thank you, Trace. I appreciate it.
Pleasure, Emma. Great to chat. Bye.
Bye.